And it's a real pleasure for me as a longtime fan to be sitting here with Aaron Gray.
Here with Larry Hama.
We're talking with Kevin J. Anderson, best-selling author.
Mr. Neil Adams.
I am here with David Fritz.
Axel Alonso, editor.
Shadow Stevens. And Nell's Comic-Con with John Delancey.
With Tom King.
Kevin Conroy.
Free comic book day.
Denise Crosby.
PopCon Pop Expo.
Here on location at Star Wars
We're
Celebration.
Sci-Fi Expo talking for our second time with Gil Gerard.
Wichita, Kansas at Time Eddy.
Producer David Gerald.
I've got Eric Flint.
Are here at Smallville Comic Con.
Wizard World St. Louis.
VillageCon in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Michael Lombardi.
We were talking with Alan Dean.
Quincy Allen.
Suzanne Lambden.
Founder of Starlog Magazine, Mr. Kerry Oakwood.
Chris Sami.
Len Weed. Dave Schwartz. Mano Intirami. John Aaron.
This is Sci-Fi for Me, your portal to the science fiction multiverse.
The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure that follows a retired soldier who is given a covenant interview with a death row inmate. What he learns from the interview thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to utilize his military training to survive from being hunted for the information that could topple the most powerful ruling class in the city. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at denali's.com.
"25 seconds to curtain, folks."
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Well, I don't know quite what's going on, but we are having hesitation in the studio here. Videos are starting and stopping, and I've got full power internet, so the gerbils are just hiccuping. Could be because, got this background thing going. Maybe wasn't a great idea. I should maybe not do that in the future. Unless I'm on other people's channels, let their power stream handle it. I think it's my computer. I just don't have a powerful enough processor to handle the video. One thing to stream, it's another thing to stream special. And green screen is apparently a special thing. So this is the segment where I just read a stack of comics in no particular order with no particular relation. Some of them indie, some of them mainstream, some of them new, some of them very, very old. And we just kind of go through a snap judgment on what they were about. It's not, we don't dedicate an entire hour to, oh, how awful this book was, or man, this is the book you got to buy. They're just like snippets. It's just, blurbs even. But we do them. So you don't have to. First up on the stack today is, okay, this is why green screen's not great for showing comics. Hey, see that? Yeah, because the AI, yes, we have one, is looking for a face. It's looking for a me. So I've got to block it by me. This is Justice Incorporated. And you would probably find this character in the old pulp novels under the name of The Avenger. This is Richard Benson, created by the same guy who created Doc Savage. Richard Benson is a retired adventurer who goes on a trip to see his wife's sick mother with his wife and his daughter. And he's on a plane that he's not supposed to be on, but because they have to get where they're going, they force their way on, and they're like, yeah, no, we're taking this plane. This was definitely pre-TSA days, guys. This was a small puddle hopper kind of a plane. And during the ride, he goes back to use the facilities, and then he comes back, and his wife and child are not there. Not only are they not there, but everyone on the plane swears they've never been there and that this guy is crazy. The plane then crashes, and Benson is taken to a hospital. He's in a hospital bed, and the shock to his nerves of what has happened has bleached his skin chalk white and has left his face malleable. It's like the nerves are just completely dead. So he can push in his cheeks and resculpt his face and put makeup on and look like anybody else. And he starts to use that ability in this first book. He also meets the first member of what will become Justice Incorporated, a very large but very smart person who is on the run for a crime he did not commit. Think Marvel's Beast, as far as being very brutish and yet very erudite. And that will give you an idea of who this character is. Just like Doc Savage, Richard Benson gathers around him a team of people who all have a very certain set of skills that help him out in things. So it's a fun pulp read, and this was my first introduction to it. Was in DC Comics. So check it out. This was 1975, if you can find it. Cost me maybe $10 on eBay. The sticker says $10. I don't know if that's what I paid for it or not, but I had to have it. So Woody, if you want to, wow, it's so slow bringing that up. You want to know what book it is, where I can find it? That's where I got it. Next up on the hit parade here. Oh, this is going to look great on green screen because it's chromium. Let's see if I can get it to pull up here. Screecher #1. This is an indie book, and this is from Nick Gibson and Company. I'm going to open it up here. Screecher is got a very nice looking holofoil cover here by Xevious, by the way. The interior artwork is by Brian Quiroga, and it's got more of a cartoony style to it, which is kind of odd given the story that it's going to tell. Although I say that, and then the story it tells, you would think that it would be more of a grim and gritty story, but it's really presented in more of an all ages take on a grim and gritty story. This is, the girl has come back to town. She finds out her father's in prison. He's not going to be getting out anytime soon, and he gives her a little passphrase to go back and tell the family friend who's holding the house in trust for them. And basically what he says is, oh, that's the way it is. And he takes her downstairs, and hey, guess what? There's a big cave under the house. Stop me if you've heard this story before. And there's machinery, and there are costumes, and basically he's telling her that, hey, you've got to take over this role of what your father was doing, which was this owl costumed adventurer. It reads more like a Zero issue because it goes so quickly, and it just basically has her. She doesn't have the trauma or the training, so she thinks. We do know that she does have the training. She just doesn't know she got trained. All the stuff that her father would have her do as a kid, which she thought was just father-daughter playtime, he was actually training her to become the hero that she will become, which will be called, of course, Screecher. Third up, boy, I hope the actual video is not as halting as what it appears to be here. Yes, To the Owl Cave. Would he let me know if I'm pausing and breaking up here on the inner tubes? It might just be on my end itself, the StreamYard thing not wanting to show up very well. Our next one, yeah, I can get it open here. You know that you're in for a ride when the very first page inside cover is a copy of the Bill of Rights. It's like, okay, I think I know where this is going. This is First World issue 1, and you can find this at firstworldcomic.com. First World is parody and satire at its highest. This is the world as it's changed through a Mandela effect type event that is kicked off by the assassination of Harambe. And what we have in this book is 2 different versions of what happened. And there could be many different versions, and all of them could be true, and none of them at the same time. That's the weird part. This is Above Average Joe. He is a radio disc jockey podcaster doing interviews with people about the assassination of Harambe. And he's got a whistleblower on the show that says, yeah, this is what happened. And he tells the story of the boy falling into the pit. He actually gets pushed into the pit by Aunt Sam, the pre-op transgendered Uncle Sam, meaning, of course, that the government was behind the whole thing. His version of Harambe has Harambe and the other gorillas in the pen talking 1970s blaxploitation jive, which at first glance is like, oh, this is very uncomfortable to read this. But not to worry. It's actually pointed out in the story, dude, this is a very racist story. What the hell are you doing? And Mother Nature herself steps in and says, that is not what happened. And she tells her version of the story. Now, in her version of the story, again, it's the boy getting pushed into the pit, and Harambe steps out. Only Harambe is like, this very effete kind of person. He's got the monocle and a top hat. And, my dear chap, let us see if we cannot extricate you from this situation. And the other women gorillas like, oh dear, I do hope you can help him. So it was just this dichotomy of different points of view on the thing. And in either case, what happens is that Harambe takes a bullet to the head from a government sniper, ostensibly to save him from hurting the boy. In neither case was he hurting the boy. He was always trying to help the boy, no matter what approach was given. And what this did was it triggered a miasma in the multi-cosmos, whatever, and the world changed. So that's why people have different memories of different events, the whole Mandela effect. If you're easily triggered by things, this is the book that makes fun of you. You can see no, you can't see anything on the back. I will not show you anything, but it's got the nutritional information of the comic book on the back. It's just snowflake nutritional information. Yeah, they're getting that dig in. 0% daily value, triggers 1000%, logic and reasoning 0%, entitlement 1000%, social skills 0%, prima donna attitude 1000%, common sense 0%, and bad behavior 1000%. Not a significant source of anything remotely useful. Feel free to discard. Even carbs are better for you than snowflakes. Take with a grain of salt. They melt easier that way. Ingredients, useless trace ingredients. See all the stuff we do. Visit us online at firstworldcomic.com. So funny book. Way too short in my opinion. So I want to see more of that one. Next up on the hit parade. Boy, I really kind of wanted to like this one. And in a way I do, but in a way I don't. It's weird. Hey, Aria, thanks for popping in here for some of my blathering. It is Batman number 131. This is Chip Zdarsky working with, I know the last name of the person, but Mike Hawthorne. Mike Hawthorne's doing the pencils. Pencils are great in this. Story is weird. So this is coming off the end of the Failsafe story. And what Zdarsky is trying to do is out Grant Morrison with Batman. He's bringing back the whole Zur-En-R thing that Morrison was doing when Batman was kind of like high and tripping during the R.I.P. Batman thing. He's got Bruce waking up in a torn up bat suit on the streets. He's been robbed of his utility belt. He gets up and he realizes that he's on another Earth. He's been shunted through the multiverse by the whole thing that he built, the fail-safe mechanism. I'll be honest with you, I did not understand the thing about fail-safe. Not at all. It looked like it was supposed to be like the Tower of Babel, like who's going to take out Batman if Batman goes bad? Well, Batman will. It's horrible, horrible, horrible idea. He's conversing with the skeletal remains of Jim. Skeletal. He's conversing with the skeletal remains of Jim Gordon, mustache and everything, and he's almost like a jokey character that nobody else can see but Batman. So Batman's a little messed up in the head, and he's in a world without a Batman. Apparently, there is Judge Dent, who is judge dreading the whole city. He's knocking on doors and asking them if they're asking them the one question: "Are you insane?" And if he determines that they're insane, he kills them because insane people don't belong in Gotham. The rest of the book is one great big fight scene between Bruce and Dent, and apparently people have been waiting for him to show up. Somebody called the Red Mask calls up Selina. Selina Kyle's running a crime syndicate, and the guy hangs up the phone and says, Bruce, I've been waiting for you. And you're like, well, where's this going? I don't know that I care. Batman being, we've already done Batman RIP. We've already done Batman being sent through time by Darkseid and having to fight his way back with everyone thinking he was dead. How many times can we get Batman lost through the universe somewhere and have him show back up? The second part is there's a backup story here called The Toy Box Part 1. This is also Chip Zdarsky and Miguel Mendoza, and it's a Tim Drake Robin and a John Kent Superman thing where they're talking about how Batman died, and Tim's like, he's not dead, he's going to come back, blah blah blah. Rumors getting out that Batman's dead, so naturally Gotham's starting to freak out, and so it's Nightwing and Robin, and they go take care of some stuff, and it's still Tim in a real weird haircut because he shaved the sides of his head, but he let it grow out tall on the top, and John says, hey, Toyman killed himself. Well, Toyman was on the front page, and now he's killed himself. I have no idea. I forgot. I completely forgot that Toyman was supposed to be part of the story. It opens with Toyman, and he says something, and then it ends with John saying Toyman killed himself. I'm like, okay, that was the story, not Tim beating up a bunch of people in Joker makeup. So I don't know. I'll check it back out again, but probably not much. Justice Society number 2. Jeff Johns, welcome back to the DC Universe, Mr. Johns. This is basically the continuation of Doomsday Clock. This has got all the Watchmen elements that Johns was putting together there. It's got the Justice Society elements. This is spinning off of the end of Flashpoint Beyond, which also had all the Doomsday Clock elements in it, by the way. So it's the bridge between Doomsday Clock and here. This is Helena Wayne, Batman's daughter from the near future, 25, 30 years in the future, maybe. And she's sent back in time in this issue to meet up with the original Justice Society. So there's this because Per Degaton is going through time like a crisis cloud, and he's killing the Justice Society in all of its incarnations, past, present, future. And it always starts with Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is the linchpin here. So we get some interesting Dr. Fate interactions. He tries to read Helena's aura, and it thrusts him forward in time and backward in time. And he's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? You get a nice feel for the original Justice Society and how they interacted with people. Because, they've got Helena there. She's unconscious. They put her in a hospital bed because, it's like, hey, this chick showed up and she's hurt. Let's put her in a bed. And she can hear, them talking. And whereas, the Justice League might be saying, we need to keep her locked down. Who knows what she knows? They're more talking like, she came here for a reason. She might need our help. Or she's out to impress us, like Red Tornado wants to join the team. Hey, Red Tornado turned us down. But when she gets up out of the bed and walks into the meeting room where they all are, and it's one of those beautiful scenes where it's like all the Justice Society standing side by side and then turn to look at their Jay Garrick's the one who kind of really fits the spirit of this. He looks at me and says, "Hi there, I'm the Flash. This is the Justice Society of America. We've got a lot of questions, but first, you doing all right?" I mean, he checks on her first. He's not like, who are you and what do you want? Which is what the Justice League would do. He's more concerned with the individual. And then he's like, okay, we can figure out what you need later, but are you okay? Yeah, it's cool. This is a time spanning epic. He does that whole thing that he does so well, where he's like, 1941, 13 years ago, 8 years ago, 1 year ago. We just see slices of time at things that will happen or things that have happened. We get to meet the original Mr. Miracle here, Thaddeus, which is the guy who people forget when scot-free Mr. Miracle landed on Earth. He was, rescued by a circus performer who was an escape artist named Thaddeus. Well, guess what? Thaddeus was a hero in the 40s using the Mr. Miracle moniker with no New Genesis powers at all. So that was this one's a wild ride. I think you need to have more issues in hand to fully appreciate it, because he does so much time hopping and he spends so little time in each place that it's hard to keep track of everything that's going on. So I think if you have like 5 or 6 issues of this in hand, then you start with number 1. It's an argument for waiting for the trade paperback, I know, but I'm a floppy collector, so I will have them. Dave, Mr. Brink, thank you for popping in here, man. Appreciate you stopping by to listen to me go on here. Last DC one, I picked this up because, okay, it's an event. Let's see if this event is any good. Lazarus Planet, We Once Were Heroes, one shot. Okay, so there are intro stories in here. That's it. They're just like, there are 4 of them, and all they do is end on a place where they're like, go to this miniseries because that's where this is where we ramped it up. But you got to go over here and read these 6 issues of this new series if you want to find out where this story goes. This is what did I pay for this? This is $4.99 advertising for other books. That's it. Sorry. The Lazarus Planet thing is apparently spinning out of Batman versus Robin. Apparently the source of the Lazarus pits had a great big reservoir in the earth, and it all erupted through a volcano, and it has affected dead people and magic people and superpowered people, and they're all changing. And this is DC's new Bloodlines way of changing current characters and creating new ones. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. The next 3 books I'm going to do as one, because I can't even show these to you. I can show you this one. This is HyperGeist number 1. This is a special cover. All 3 of these books, which will be Vanya the Lost Warrior and Death Nell, these are from Bad Bug's mature line. And the covers are not safe for wife. I've learned that that's what NSFW meant a long time ago. But they're still fun stories. So it's a unique approach to be able to have a very mature title and at the same time tell a story that's worth reading. For instance, HyperGeist. HyperGeist is it's Blade Runner if the android were a sex bot. And this android here, she's kind of like Pinocchio. She wants to be a real boy, or in this case, a real girl. And there's a piece of technology that she acquires she knows will make that happen. So she's sleeping her way up to through the people who have access to this technology so she can get it. Very graphic. Very, very, very graphic. Death Nell. Not quite so graphic except for the cover. Death Nell is drawn in a more of a cartoony style. And Nell is, she's kind of like an Addams Family world character. She's going to this school where there's other creature-ish characters like her. They dig graves, they study mad science and all that. But she can't get her mind off sex. And it's just like to the point of distraction of her life. She can't do anything because she's thinking about it all the time. Well, it turns out that this has to do with something she did not know about herself, and that is that she is half succubus. And if you know what a succubus is, that's a supernatural creature that sex is what they're all about. So, she's just, her true nature is coming out, and she's going to have to learn how to deal with that while maintaining friendships and getting through school. Yeah, that. Okay, so did I just flash? Okay, I can show you the back here. This is one of the prints that came with this. This is Vanya, the Lost Warrior. This one's a lot like Budroot's Cave Woman, with a lot. Okay, out of all the books of the Bad Bug Mature line, this is the one that has a 7-page orgy scene that made Conan the Barbarian look like a Disney movie. It was. I don't know what was going on. I just know that a lot of people were getting it on, and dinosaurs were eating people that I thought were main characters in the story. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't get attached to you because you're just legs now and your torso is being digested. Of course, I did come to this on issue 3. I totally missed out on issue 1 and 2. I should have taken the catch-up tier option on this and didn't. So Mike Teener and folks over there at Bad Bug, yeah, I'm going to have to get a digital tier or something on the next Bad Bug Media thing to catch things up. Yeah, and yes, and what you've learned is that RJ buys horny books off of the net too. So, but they're very well drawn. They have to be well drawn for me to enjoy them. We will do this again when I get another stack of books read under my belt, so to speak. Didn't mean that pun to come out, but we will be back with more of that. We will also be back tomorrow for our regular spate of interviews, so we hope you'll come back and check out our guests. We regularly feature new creators on the show here, and if you are a creator and would like to show off what you've got coming up in a campaign, please do reach out to us on Twitter at Critical Blast, or you can email us at blastcritical@gmail.com. We actually have a criticalblast.com address, but that's so much faster just to get through Gmail. I'll see it a lot more easily. So we encourage you to use that. And thanks for popping by. We hope you had a blast.